Hey guys, I'm currently parked at Starbucks and I think it's about time for a life update. I just realized that when my vehicle was robbed the other day that they stole my house keys. So that's just evil. Hey guys, it's Jordan. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I just wanted to take a moment to be real with you guys and talk about some of the things that I've been experiencing off camera that I haven't really been sharing with you guys. We kind of feel pressured to just share the good, the glossy, the wonderful, the exciting things that are going on. So today I just want to kind of take the curtain back and talk about real life for a minute and share some of my own problems with you guys. So feel free to share down in the comments below anything that you guys have been going through as well, and I will try to make my way through the comments. In this video, I'm going to be talking a bit about ADHD and my struggles with ADHD and medication, anxiety and work and my new city and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, let's get into it. So in October, I think it was really the very end of September, I left Grand Prairie, Alberta, and in my van started heading to Belleville, Ontario, and that is where I am now. And I have been living with my roommate and her 3 kids, and she has 3 kids that are under 6. So it has been a lot, super chaos. And along with that, I have not been able to afford to be living just off of my content creator income. So I was looking for a job from October until pretty much February. Well, I got the job on my birthday on January 23rd. So basically the end of January, I guess. And I was looking for a job that entire time, but was basically just looking for a part-time job. And there's lots of service stuff here in this town, and it's in the middle of the dance year, and I'm not really comfortable applying for a dance studio job if I don't know how long I'm going to be in this city. I like to really be committed because you're going to be taking on a group of kids or adults, people that really count on you. So I like to be really committed and know that I'm going to be staying somewhere before I take on any kind of studio job like that. But as well, I have been experiencing a ton of anxiety around the idea of going back to work at a dance studio. So I don't know, that's for an entire other video. But I was looking for a job, couldn't find a part-time job this entire time, and I did manage to find a temping position that was full-time, and it was at a factory here in Belleville, and I started there on February 1st. Now, trying to manage that and YouTube and TikTok and all of my other social media business at the same time. Whoa, so much pressure, so much stress. Now, this job actually started at 6 a.m. every single day, and I had to wake up before 5 in the morning every day. It's pitch black out and head to work. So no matter how much sleep I was getting, I was just so tired. And my job was manufacturing HVAC components in a factory. So it is very physical. But depending on which section of the factory I was working in, it was okay for me. It was not until this last week where things started to blow up because I was put into like this water valve area. And the machines that I was working on were so bad ergonomically. Like I had to be staring straight completely down to work, and I'm only doing one thing, which was just like putting these rings on a part over and over and over all day. And we're there for about 8.5 hours, and we only get a 10-minute break in the morning, and then we get 20 minutes for our lunch, and then another 10-minute break in the evening. So there's really not enough time to even like decompress. So I'm at a machine for sometimes over 2 hours, sometimes over 3 hours, just putting valves on a piece of plastic. And if you have ADHD or anxiety, but especially if you have the two combined, that is just not a good combination whatsoever. Essentially, with ADHD, the way that I understand it is when you're trying to do a task that is super repetitive and your body just doesn't have the dopamine for it, you end up in like this fight or flight, and it's like flight that you want to just like leave the situation. So it's literally not like being bored, it's like a fight or flight response. And so I'm standing at these machines all day, and my body is in like fight or flight, like you need to run away. And I'm trying to fight that feeling the entire time while I'm working on these machines. And I kind of figured that if I wasn't working in customer service, that there would be like no anxiety at all, because I used to have a lot of anxiety working in customer service. But no, it was a whole other different thing when you're doing just the same repetitive task over and over, but especially because it was physically really, really hard on my neck and my shoulders. I was in pain and also trying to just like fight that fight or flight feeling. And eventually I ended up just having so much anxiety that it led to panic, and I was feeling this insane amount of panic just working on these machines. And then all of a sudden, I'm sure that this lady had no bad intentions, was totally just with all of the best intentions, I'm sure, but I had barely talked to her at all. I'd not ever talked to any of these people because I was in this section for about 24 hours at this point, and they were just trying to show me how to use the machines and how to do the other section, which was, I was doing the valves all day long, and then the next day I was doing this other section where you had to bring the part through like 20 different machines in basically like 30 seconds. And that is also way too overstimulating and complex for my ADHD brain, so that was causing me to panic. But then this lady said, hey, I looked up your social media and was watching you on YouTube, and just so you know, don't post like a clip of anything that's going on in here. And I was like, went from panic to like extreme panic attack, because I'd never even talked to this lady enough to remember a name, any of these people's names. I didn't know anything about her life. I don't know any of these people in this area. And I'm like immediately freaking out, because in this job where I thought I was going to remain entirely anonymous, I am now standing next to somebody that I know absolutely nothing about, that has watched and has access to the most intimate personal details about my life. And I know when you're sharing your life online and you are sharing your own personal life and being vulnerable online, that's kind of, people say, that's just part of the job. Like, you asked for it when you posted yourself online. But at the same time, you don't ask for people to like go look up your last name or read your last name off of the work papers or something and then go look you up. And in the same week, somebody that watches my channel regularly, I believe their username is Connie, commented about how hard it is to find my channel even with my first and last name, because so much comes up with just Jordin Sparks, the other celebrity. So I was just freaking out, and I literally had to leave work to go home because I just couldn't handle the panic anymore. But I was panicking, even like I sustained a panic attack for like 4 or 5 hours while I was on this line, just freaking out because I was like, I'm going to lose my job if I leave here. I don't even know who the supervisor is or where to go ask. I don't want to ask this lady because she's the one that triggered me into a panic attack. So after hours of this, I couldn't handle it anymore, and I ended up having to ask that lady that triggered the panic attack. Again, like I said, I'm sure she didn't have any bad intentions, but it's just dealing with that. I could not. Like, working at a factory, especially when you don't know somebody, you need to really like take your time and learn if you trust that person and open up to them a bit. So before I'd opened up to them about anything, they went and viewed my YouTube channel and all of that content. So that was incredibly uncomfortable. And I left. Haven't returned to that job since. When I talked to the temping agency, they said they'd taken me off the schedule for the week. So I'm like, okay, well, don't put me back on, I think. I've just been looking for other part-time jobs again and returning to trying to do YouTube and stuff full-time. So we'll see what happens. I'm trying to just send out the vibes into the universe that I am wealthy, I am successful, I create content of value, like all of the things that the law of attraction needs to hear, so that I can just calm the F down. But yeah, aside from this panic attack at work, I've been having a lot of stress, basically financially for the most part, but also being in a new town where I don't really know anybody at all. I just know my roommate, and then there's one other friend that I know from college. So that is it. It's pretty isolating. And I haven't really been having panic attacks for the last several years. Like, they've been very rare. I used to have them every single day when I was working at Starbucks in North Vancouver, which I believe I shared on my YouTube channel a few years ago. But I don't have them anymore, so having this panic attack, I didn't really know how to deal with it. I was trying to just calm myself and stuff, but it's been so long since that had happened that, yeah, it was good and fresh and fun. But I'm looking for a position that I can find that is something that is more like all over the place, but not super duper stressful or on a time crunch. Like, the repetition and the pressure to do everything in such a short amount of time is not good for me. What is good for me is being able to have a whole bunch of different activities that I need to do throughout the day so that I'm not in like a panic from doing the same thing over and over and over. But that is where I thrive. So that is why performing and like dance, I've always thrived in that kind of environment. That or just academics. Like in academia, growing up like in elementary school, junior high, high school, I was a straight A student. I was planning to be an orthodontist or marine biologist, something that had to do with like getting a doctorate and going to university for 8 years. And it was basically towards the very end of high school where I just kind of switched directions and started studying hairdressing and did my entire hairdressing program and stayed in high school for an extra year to do that, and then left on a scholarship to do performing arts at Sheridan in Oakville, Ontario. So I kind of totally switched gears there, but my entire life I was very much only successful at doing like academic things, and I didn't really try to do anything outside of that. So I applied that same kind of academic sense when I started dancing and started training as a dancer. But in terms of ADHD, I have not been on medication for, is it 1 year or 2 years at this point? I'd have to go check my videos because I was on medication for a couple months and I was on Concerta, and it just was way, way too overstimulating for me. And I'm already like the hyperactive kind of ADHD. I just struggle a lot with executive function, and being on a stimulant for me just made me even more stimulated, but it didn't at all help with executive function. So that has been my experience with all stimulants so far. So I only end up being on them for a couple months before I literally cannot take it. I'm like, this is not helping me. I'm losing weight. I can't eat. I'm just more stressed out, too overstimulated. So they've never been successful for me. There are breakthroughs in terms of psychiatric medicine, and creating non-stimulant ADHD medications such as Strattera, but I have yet to try that one. I have to switch over all of my health information and stuff still now that I'm in a new province, so we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, that is basically where we are at today. I released a new video that I filmed checking out like ChatGPT kind of artificial intelligence stuff. I filmed that and edited it yesterday. Our internet is currently not working, so that is good and fresh and fun. I had to go to Starbucks. I went to McDonald's yesterday to try and upload this video, and I was there for 2 hours and it just didn't work at all. So I went and Googled it up and found out that internet is supposedly way better at Starbucks. And so I went over to Starbucks today to upload that video. Shout out to Starbucks. But yeah, that is basically my blabbering and oversharing for now. I have like a fear that this lady that told me she was watching my YouTube channel is going to continue to be watching my YouTube channel. And like, I have no problem with that, but I just need to be like completely honest that I was freaking completely panicked over that and was not expecting that. That was like a curveball entirely. Nobody that I know watches my YouTube channel, and except for like my best friend, very rarely does anybody watch my YouTube channel. Like, people will be like, oh my god, I saw you in this TV show or this commercial or whatever. That's the only time I hear from people. Or when I was shared in Shane Dawson's YouTube series, like a couple years ago, a bunch of people were like, oh my god, I saw you in this YouTube series. But aside from that, nobody really watches my YouTube channel that I know. It's mostly like dancers, so that is interesting. But yeah, I think that I'm going to leave that there. I want to tell you guys, I applied for this campaign I'm not sure how much I can tell you guys about it, but I don't think that I was chosen anyways, so we'll see. But basically, it was for people that have the same name as the celebrity, and because I have the same name as Jordin Sparks, my friend Sam, I went to her wedding back in October, you guys probably remember, and I consider her my twin. We both have the nickname Sparky, and she tagged me in that and was like, oh my god, this would be perfect for you. So I submitted for that. I haven't heard back from them though, so we'll see. I would be super stoked to do that. If I do that, it would be filming in a different city in Ontario, and I would have to travel to go do that, but I think it would just be like for a day, and I would be super stoked to do that. But it is March. I would love to get back into the film industry in this next season, which is basically starting now. The only problem is I am living in Belleville, and Belleville is like 2 hours-ish from Toronto, and my van here is a glutton on gas. So driving 2 hours there and 2 hours back, plus the gas, is just not feasible for like auditioning and doing like a day of background or like a day of like SAE or like special skills dancing, because that just like would not cover things financially. So I don't know. I would love to trade in this van and get a small car. I love this van, but I would love to trade it in as well. In order to do that, though, I need to switch over everything to Ontario, switch over my driver's license, insurance, registration. Then it has to go through like an out-of-province inspection, and then I have to fix everything that needs to be repaired that they see on the out-of-province inspection. So several $1,000s later. So I'll have to be waiting to have a job again before I can do that. So for now, it's just going to be working on YouTube. If you guys have any other video suggestions that you want to see from me, let me know down in the comments below. Any videos that you would like to see from me, or anything that you would like me to talk about, let me know. I would love to do more commentary videos, especially because YouTube is, I feel like, the place that people go to now when they want more human interaction, because everything on every other platform is so much like swipe, 7 seconds or something, and that's it. And they're there just for like quick entertainment. And here, I feel like on YouTube, people really are going back to, I could be wrong, let me know what you guys would like to see, but, or what you guys watch here on this platform, but I feel like people are really going back to wanting to have like that sit down, authentic connection here on YouTube from their favorite creators, and not so much just here for like, I gave $1 million to 1 million people to put on airbag suits and do whatever. Anyways, I think that is it for this video. I think I'm going to film another video as well, trying out ChatGPT and seeing if it can predict my future, because I tried that with Maddie's video and I thought that would be interesting. And I was going to film some videos like about starting dance as an adult or starting ballet as an adult. So if that's something that you are interested in, or if you are an adult dancer, or if you're not but you've been thinking about it, let me know down in the comments below. But that is it for me for today's video. So as always, you can check out another one over here, and make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.